Leadership. My name is Beth Bergen. I'm an internationally awarded leadership and communication coach, and I work with both individuals and teams on their leadership and communication skills. I'm here every Tuesday at around about this time live. However, you can actually pick me up in the replays as well. So it'll be awesome to see you here. Hey, over these last few weeks, we've been talking a lot about communication and the value that really good communication brings to you as a leader. And last week, our topic was emotional regulation. What I'd like to do on the face of, last week it was World Happiness Day. And some of you may not know this, but I'm a certified happiness coach and a certified wellness coach, wellness happiness coach or consultant for workplaces. So it got me to be thinking about the challenges that are presented to us as leaders around our well-being, the well-being of our team versus our commitment as a leader to the organisation to make sure that the productivity is happening. And it struck me that this is it's a very real challenge because work is actually important. Work is vital. That going to work can be stimulating for many people. It contributes to happiness. It's vital for all of us to feel productive. We go to work because it brings some meaning to our lives. It brings a real sense of purpose for us. For many, it builds or helps to build and increase and maintain our self-esteem. And it certainly supports us financially with our financial well-being. So why is this such a challenge then? Well, recent studies into the Australian Unity Wellbeing Index demonstrated that employed people have an average wellbeing index of 75 versus unemployed people who have a score of 66 for men and 70 for women. So it's quite a bit lower for those people who don't have to go to work, who aren't going to work. And that impacts on how well satisfied we actually are. So going to work is important for us as an individual. It's important for our overall sense of satisfaction and our overall happiness. The real downside of that, though, and some of you may be experiencing this right now, if not right now, then probably at some stage in your career, the real downside of that is unfortunately work can make us feel very unhappy, make us very stressed, and make us very frustrated. And approximately 30% of people are really unhappy in their jobs on a consistent basis, not just one day, but, consistently 30% plus of people are unhappy in their jobs. So as a leader, what do you do about this? What do you need to do? And is it even your role to make sure that everybody else is happy? They're the things that I want to just start to really touch on today to get a bit of a conversation going. Look, there are 4 key things that I want to look at. The first of them is this. It starts with you. It starts with you. You need to be demonstrating and living the qualities that you want to see in your team. You can't possibly regulate or mandate happiness. Everybody will be happy, or joy or motivation or productivity. Most of us are inspired by others. And what I know is that your team's happiness and productivity is actually a mirror of where you are as an individual, what your own emotional and what your own psychological state is. Now, this is why with the work that I do, it's about that leadership and communication from the inside out, because what you're demonstrating all the time is a mirror to your team. And there are really three keys to this. The first one is we want to demonstrate to our team how to navigate challenges. You know, when things are going really smoothly, leadership is often easier, depending on your team. So, you know, that's kind of a generic statement. But in general, when things are going smoothly, leadership is easier. It's when we have to show people and demonstrate how to navigate those challenges. The second thing, and to do that rather, you need to be empowering your team so that you can build that satisfaction. The second thing is the first thing is navigate challenges. The second thing is to lead by example, which we've already talked about. And the third one is to empower your team to build that satisfaction so that it's there. You want your team to be satisfied, because that satisfaction will lead to happiness. The second of the four things I want to talk about is this. It's important that you are the inspiration. Be the inspiration, because happiness equals improved productivity. Just bear with me while I have a sip. Oh, thank you. I've just got a little bit left over from that summer cold I had. Be that inspiration. However, are you going to be weighed down by inspiring everybody else? Is that your role? My answer to that is no, because that's way too big a task. By the time you wait for every single person in your team to be feeling happy and motivated, some new people have come in. The people at one end who were happy before might not be happy now. It's an ever-changing scenario. So what I'd like you to do is to let that go. Let that go. And I want you to focus, coming back to the statement I made earlier, that we're looking at leadership and communication from the inside out. I want you to look at you inspiring you. I want you to think about it like this. Who are you being as a leader? You know, how are you showing up as a leader? And then look at, how do you want to be as a leader? How do you want to be showing up as a leader? And then think to yourself, how do I bridge that gap? How do I bridge that gap between who I am being as a leader right now and who I want to be as a leader? Now, this is where it might be useful for you to think about finding some mentors in your organization. This is certainly where coaching fits in. Because, you know, in the words of Marshall Goldsmith, what got you here won't get you there. So there's a need for you to continue. And we've talked about this a lot in Leadershipization. There's a need for you to continue to develop your skills, to be flexible. You're on a journey, a leadership journey. So inspire yourself to be the best version of a leader that you can be. The third thing is this. It's recognizing that one size doesn't fit all. You know, you can lead people to achieve the objectives, even through deadlines and when there's a whole lot of extra commitments and when you're really under a lot of pressure. You can do that easily. And everyone, or you become a leader who's a problem solver, putting the pieces of the jigsaw puzzle together and making sure that everyone is feeling good. However, it's important that you lead the people too. That's really important. You want to lead them so that they can be the best they can be to contribute, particularly in those times when things are challenging. And you want things to be positive and you want work to be fun. Coming back to the third step, one size doesn't fit all. As a leader, it's important for you to understand what those individual motivators are so that you can plug into them. The fourth point is empower and shine. Empower and shine. Remember, we're talking about well-being versus productivity and how you navigate your way through that. What we know is that more than 50% of people leave jobs because of the management or leadership. More than 50%. Now, I'm sure I apologize because I didn't have an opportunity to check this out today. But what I know is that in some recent surveys, that's been up closer to 70%. So what this means for you as a leader is that you've got to take responsibility for the fact that you impact directly on your team. You impact directly on your team. And people are much more likely to leave because of management and leadership than potentially anything else. So what's important is that you take, knowing that piece of information, develop your people skills, the things that we talked about earlier. Be the leader, or aim to be the leader that you needed when you were coming through your career at various times. Make sure that you give people the opportunity, that you empower them by giving them stretch assignments to do, by making sure that they know that they're trusted, by allowing them to make their own decisions, and by acknowledging their successes. And something else that we've talked about is to make sure that you acknowledge the lessons that are there in mistakes. As the leader, you're not blaming. Not up to you to be blaming people. It's up to you to be identifying, here are the lessons, here are the opportunities for us to grow because we've made a mistake. You know, we've talked in Leadershipisation about mistakes and failures and what a blessing they are. No point in listening to that and agreeing with it and then making a huge mess and having, lots of tension and lots of blaming and finger pointing going on if someone does make a mistake. So you've almost got to have one eye on your people and one eye on the productivity. To summarize, strategies that you can think or that you can begin to utilize to make sure that you've achieving that balance or that harmony between well-being of your team and the productivity come down to you. The leadership that you demonstrate, the challenges that you give yourself to be the best leader that you can possibly be, your willingness to embrace the diversity in your team, and your willingness to empower every individual in your team. You've got this. Thank you. Hey, if you've not had a chance to watch this live, but you're watching it on a replay, please pop #replay. Questions and comments, either reach out to me on one of the platforms and I'll get back to you as quickly as I can with the answer to your question. I'm always happy to take feedback. And if there's a topic or a question that you have that you would like me to discuss on Leadershipisation, let me know. Also, I wanted to remind you, my deliberate reset program, which looks at leadership, communication, and mental fitness. Applications are open now for the next intake. This is 6 to 8 people. They're on exactly the same leadership and communication journey. And together we work for 10 weeks, 90 minutes a week. Together we work supported by an internationally recognized app. It's well worth your investment of your time, and organizationally, the difference it will make to you as a leader and to the organization or the business that you work in is phenomenal. I've got plenty of testimonials that I can share with you. If you're interested in hearing more about this, reach out. They're open now. Just reach out to me. Okay. Thank you again. We've got Easter coming up. So hopefully you're able to take a bit of a step back from your work and have some rest and recalibrating and resetting and just relaxation time. Be safe. See you next week.